tell you, I've always wanted my own talk show, maybe called Sherri. I don't know. Because I love to have fun. I love people feeling good. When I tell you the battles, people don't understand. When we are in power, the battles we gotta fight that you will never know about. Never. To keep a show on the air.
Sherri Shepherd's show gets canceled, and almost immediately, Wendy Williams starts trending. That timing is either the biggest coincidence in daytime television history, or it's exactly what certain people always believed would happen. Before we go further, this video is for entertainment and discussion purposes. We're breaking down reports, industry chatter, and online speculation. Nothing here is presented as confirmed fact. The tea is hot enough to burn. The question that's been circulating since the cancellation news broke is simple. Was this a comeback waiting to happen, or a takeback that was always inevitable? And once you trace the full timeline, from the moment Wendy's chair went cold to the moment Sherri's show reportedly ended, that question stops feeling rhetorical. It starts feeling like the only question that ever mattered. When Wendy Williams stepped away from her show due to health complications, no one believed it would become permanent. Guest hosts rotated through. The purple chair stayed empty. The brand stayed alive. Then came the news that she had been placed under a court-ordered guardianship, and suddenly the timeline changed entirely. She wasn't returning anytime soon, maybe not at all. That's when the production company moved. Sherri Shepherd was announced as the host of a new talk show. Same production company, same 10 a.m. time slot, and in a move that immediately raised eyebrows, Wendy's official social media accounts were reportedly rebranded under Sherri's new show. Millions of followers transferred overnight without ceremony. To some, it was a smooth professional transition. To others, it looked like a replacement plan that had been quietly waiting for the right moment to execute. The launch didn't ease the comparison. The format felt familiar. The entrance energy echoed what daytime audiences already knew. Even the celebrity interview rhythm matched Wendy's blueprint closely enough that fans never stopped making the side-by-side. Sherri kept her tone warm and uplifting, deliberately different from Wendy's sharp, unfiltered edge. But that difference became its own problem. Because Wendy's audience didn't just want a talk show, they wanted that specific kind of boldness. And safe, wasn't it? The tension between the two women never became explosive publicly, but it was never neutral either. In one interview, Sherri spoke about Wendy's health and suggested it was better for someone to stay home and be cared for when they're not well. On the surface, compassionate. To Wendy's loyal fan base, dismissive. Wendy built her entire brand on showing up no matter what. She prided herself on never missing work. Hearing someone frame her absence as the reasonable option didn't land the way Sherri may have intended. Industry whispers said Wendy wasn't pleased. Reports circulated that she had hoped for a private conversation, woman to woman, to clear the air before Sherri's show launched. According to those same sources, it never happened. What followed was quiet tension. No screaming match, no public fallout. Just the kind of low-level friction that doesn't make headlines but never fully disappears either. Sherri ran 4 seasons. Guest bookings were solid, ratings weren't catastrophic. By most television standards, that's a respectable run. Then came the cancellation. According to reports, Sherri had been operating under the assumption she was getting renewed. Some insiders claimed she had already begun discussing adjustments for future seasons, pay increases, schedule flexibility to balance outside acting work. So, when the cancellation news allegedly landed, it wasn't expected. The network's official statement praised her talent, referenced the evolving daytime television landscape, and hinted at exploring opportunities elsewhere. Evolving landscape is television language for the math changed, and the moment that statement dropped, one name exploded across social media: Wendy Williams. Immediately after the cancellation reports circulated, entertainment blogs began running alleged quotes from sources close to Wendy. The most pointed ones spread fast. "You can't duplicate authenticity." That line, if accurate, wasn't subtle. It was pointed at everything Sherri's show had tried to do in Wendy's exact space. And the internet received it exactly that way. Clips resurfaced of Wendy expressing confidence that no one could replicate what she built. Old interviews where she talked about daytime needing edge, not comfort. Fans started calling the cancellation karma. For the slot, for the social media rebrand, for the sit-at-home comment that never fully left people's memory. But here's the part that makes this more than just fan satisfaction. While the cancellation headlines were building, Wendy's personal situation was also reportedly shifting. For years, her court-ordered guardianship kept her largely out of business conversations. Key decisions about her finances and certain aspects of her life weren't fully in her control. That legal structure limited interviews, restricted negotiations, and paused the kind of industry conversations that would normally happen behind the scenes between a talent and a network. Recently, reports began circulating that her legal team has been pushing for adjustments. Some sources claim discussions about modifying or ending parts of the guardianship are actively happening, nothing officially confirmed. But the language around her has started changing in a specific way. Industry voices that used to speak about Wendy in the past tense are now using present language when Wendy returns, if she comes back, when she's ready. That shift doesn't happen by accident in an industry where words are chosen carefully. And the public mood has shifted alongside it. Scroll through comment sections from the past year, and the tone is different from what it was during the chaotic headlines of her health struggles. The mockery is largely gone. What replaced it is nostalgia, concern, support. People saying things like, "We miss Wendy," and "Daytime hasn't been the same," and "No one did it like her." That kind of organic sentiment is something no PR campaign can manufacture, and television executives know it. Every time Wendy's name trends, engagement spikes hard. That kind of built-in audience response is rare. Networks pay attention to it even when they don't say so publicly, which is why the timing of Sherri's cancellation overlapping with the guardianship shift conversations has people watching closely. Not because either thing alone means a Wendy return is imminent, but because both happening simultaneously creates a window that didn't exist 6 months ago. Some insiders claim format discussions are already quietly happening, a possible weekly structure instead of daily. Controlled segments that protect energy while keeping the brand visible. Nothing official. But those kinds of conversations don't happen unless someone is at least testing the door. Here's where the risk lives. And it's real. A comeback only works if it looks intentional. If Wendy returns and it feels reactive, like a direct response to Sherri's cancellation, critics will frame it as desperation. If she comes back appearing pressured or unwell, the same people who spent years rooting for her health will pivot to concern, and that concern will overshadow everything else. She built her empire on fearlessness, on walking into a studio every day and saying exactly what she thought without calculating the fallout first. That energy is what made her irreplaceable, and it's also what made her polarizing. Daytime television in 2026 isn't the same landscape she dominated. Clips go viral before full episodes air. Every take generates instant backlash cycles. The boldness that made her iconic now comes with faster and louder consequences. Can she adapt to that climate without losing the edge that made people love her? Or does a real return mean rebuilding the formula from the ground up? Those questions don't have easy answers. And that's precisely why, despite all the momentum, nothing has been officially announced. Because the people managing this, if anyone is managing it, understand that the return has to be undeniable when it happens. Not a soft reintroduction. Not a guest appearance building to something bigger, a statement. Wendy Williams didn't get a farewell episode. Her show didn't end with a tribute reel or a standing ovation or a final episode where she said goodbye on her own terms. It just stopped. The chair went cold, someone else sat in it. And the brand she built over more than a decade kept moving without her in it. That's not retirement. That's an unfinished chapter. And now, with the slot open again, the legal situation reportedly shifting, and the public rooting for her in a way they haven't in years, the stage is resetting. Whether Wendy steps back onto it and how will say everything about what kind of story this actually turns out to be. A comeback is about returning. A takeback is about reclaiming something that was never really gone. And right now, the silence from her side is the loudest thing in daytime television.